Damn, 67 miles an hour. I'm an animal. Oh, hey! Didn't see you there. Symphony X, Iconoclast. Hello, everybody. Sorry the review's late. I just got really lazy. So, today I'm here to talk about Symphony X, Iconoclast. So, Symphony X, if you haven't heard of them, is a five-man metal outfit hailing from New Jersey. And they've put arguably some of the best progressive metal music out there in the past 15 to 20 years. With a lot of albums like The Divine Wings of Tragedy, The Odyssey, 5, and Paradise Lost, which is, in my opinion, one of their best albums, probably their best. So, Iconoclast, fucking stop it, comes 4 years after their last release, which was Paradise Lost. So, as you would assume, I'm expecting this album to live up to the hype of Paradise Lost. Now, I don't want to say that Iconoclast is a huge departure from the sound from Symphony X, because it really isn't, but it's also not stemming from the same place that Paradise Lost is coming from. In the same way that Paradise Lost was epic, strong and emotional, Iconoclast is raw and powerful and powerful. You can sort of tell that in the opening track, Iconoclast, which is the first over 10-minute song they've made since 2002. That really they're going for just heavier and straightforward approach than they did with songs like Revelation or 7. Now, I know you're expecting me to say next, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Well, it's not exactly a good thing for this album. In fact, the best thing about this album is probably the instrumentation that comes from Michael Romeo or any other one of the 4 Michaels in the band. The songwriting is definitely not as strong as it was in the last album. It's definitely not as epic as I said before, but the problem is Symphony X was built off of that epic sound, and that's what made me interested in them in the first place. On this album, they really just seemed to try and let's play the same riff, and then we'll sing over it, do a chorus, and then play a guitar solo. When on previous albums, it was like, let's have a really long intro, pianos come in, strings come in, an epic, a very quiet verse going into an epic chorus, and then a very long interlude composed of several instruments, such as my favorite Symphony X song, Revelations, which has then a Latin title, which translates to Divine Wings of Tragedy, which is one of their albums. Still, I'm not completely negative about this album, though. There are many spots in here, such as Bastards of the Machine, which is a very, very fast track for Symphony X, which usually has a very 120-ish kind of pace. Still, Electric Messiah, Prometheus, which is my favorite track from the album, and even Iconoclast, the title track, use their instrumentation in a way that can entertain me, but at the same time not blow music into my face and go like, whoa, what is a grindcore? I didn't expect this, because I might have said it was really fast and powerful, but it's not grindcore level. But the thing is, when they're trying to be as fast and powerful with this, they're also trying to incorporate sounds off their old albums, such as an Iconoclast, the title track, which I've been talking about a lot. It's 11 minutes long, so there's a lot to talk about, but it seems that when they're trying to do the it doesn't work as well. It just seems to be there, and not even because they can just show it's there, just because, I don't know, it doesn't even seem necessary to be there. I mean, this essentially sounds more like a Metallica album in drop D than a Symphony X album that tells about Satan moving through the journeying of something, or, Odysseus traveling home to meet his wife, which is something Symphony X usually does. Now, the last tracks in Symphony X albums are usually the best. Revelation, the new Discovery, whatever the hell it was called, MV, the Odyssey, off of the Odyssey, they all just had this feeling to them that made me want to listen to them over and over and over again, despite the fact they were at least 15 minutes long, or only 9 in Revelation's case. But it just starts off, I don't mean to say this, so half-assed that it makes me think, did Symphony X just, like, not even care about this? Are they really only in this for the instrumentation, not for the actual feel of the album? Because it starts off with these very cheesy-sounding synthesizers, which just don't even come off as we're trying to make this epic. It's just we're trying to just close off the album so Michael Romeo can play his solos. But that doesn't ruin the album for me, because the album has so many high points, such as many of the choruses, especially the chorus on the last track, the solos, which made me smile when I heard them, especially on the last track. Many of the guitar parts, which are always a high for a Symphony X album. And I really enjoyed that, because it's good to see Symphony X experimenting a little, especially on an album where a lot of the songs have a lot of similarities. And that's another thing that doesn't really do the album all that well. Just the fact that a lot of the songs, especially the verses, and the choruses to some extent, which have the same semi-fleeting effect on them, they do sound a lot the same. And I know it's a really stupid complaint to make. It really doesn't make each track stand out the way every other Symphony X album, or any other metal album, to be honest with you, does. I mean, a lot of the choruses, as I said before, have the same double bass drums, the same choruses like you'll sort of get the idea if you listen to the album. So for me, this album didn't do for me what Paradise Lost did. But on the other hand, it had a lot of instrumental high points on it, like the soloing and the bass solos, the very few that I can hear. The drumming on several tracks that aren't double bass drumming. A lot of these tracks, while they do come off sounding the same, they're a little bit cheesy in some parts, not as epic or good, to be honest with you, as a lot of the stuff on Paradise Lost or any of their other albums, to be honest with you, except for the first one, which was terrible. But regardless, they're still very powerful, very strong, have very good interludes, choruses for the most part, and solos really better than any other solos I've heard in any other Symphony X album, because they just morph so well with the keyboards. So in conclusion, it's not as good as Paradise Lost, but it's a lot heavier, a lot stronger, very thorough in its subject matter, and I like it a lot. It's not perfect, it's got flaws, but it's something good to start out with for Symphony X. Pretty good after, not making an album for 4 years. I'm feeling like a 7 out of 10 on this. I'm enjoying it a lot. You should probably pick it up, especially, here we go, Iconoclast, Prometheus, I'm Alive, Reign in Madness, Bastards of the Machine, End of Innocence, which is their single, which we've probably heard by now if you're a Symphony X fan. And I'll just throw another one in there for you. Electric Messiah. So I hope you enjoy the album if you pick it up. I know you didn't enjoy the review, I didn't either, but despite what you think about the album, don't leave troll comments, because I've been getting a lot of those lately saying, "Oh, you're terrible." The channel is called Terrible Productions. I don't have the best production value. I'm filming this in a fucking basement. So, cut me some slack. At least I'm not the kind of teenagers that drool over shit like Kesha, or Lady Gaga, or, Lady Man Gaga, or Britney Spears, or whatever other crap there is today. Just appreciate the music. So, Symphony X, Iconoclast. Yeah.